Hey guys, today we're going to change the brake pads and rotor on a 2007 Dodge Caliber 1.8 with the front disc brakes and rear drums. So make sure there's a difference if you're ordering the parts because there are different sizes. So we'll get started. First thing we're going to need is a 18 millimeter. Nope, online. This is a 14 millimeter.
For safety, make sure you have your wheels chocked. You don't want your car to roll off. I also like to turn the wheels so I have better access to the nuts inside. Now just remove the caliper pins and make note that one of them will have a nipple at the end and one will not. Just make sure it goes back to the top or the bottom depending on where you pull it out, because it will be different on both ends. Okay, here's one with the nipple on the bottom. So you just want to make sure that one goes back in the bottom.
So inside here, the actual drum is compressed. So in order to get this to come off, you have to, you can put a clamp on here, or you can put this in here, a big heavier screwdriver, and then just kind of pull on it, and then it'll start to compress, and then it should pop right off.
Make note the hose to the caliper is very short and you want to set it up on something. Never let it hang or you could rip a hole in your hose. Now I'm using an 18 millimeter to remove the actual brake bar, and that's the piece that holds on your caliper onto your rotor. So there's the 18 millimeter, and that's just the 2 bolts to take off of this. Easy peasy. I couldn't find my breaker bar, so I just used a hunk of aluminum here to a makeshift breaker bar just to make it easier to pull that nut off.
You threw it too hard, now you're in a different direction.
And that's it. You just remove those 2 bolts and the brake bar comes right off. And I'm just going to leave the pads right in it, and I'll just take them off as soon as I get them off. And then of course right away we notice these pads were abused. There is nothing left on the one side. And this is what it looks like compared to a brand new one. This one is worn down to nubbins right here. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. And there's the new one.
Double. Those are gone. That's how much was touching.
After I sprayed some brake clean onto the new rotor to get the oil that they ship it on off of it, I then put the brake bar back in place. And it makes it easier if you want to put a lug nut on to hold that rotor right nice and tight. But in this case, I just slid the brake pad or the brake bar right back in and started putting the pins back in. Then I just use that breaker bar piece of aluminum again to tighten those bolts back into the brake bar. And now just reinsert the brake pads into the clips. I like to grab a C-clamp. It helps compress the drum so that you can slide it over top of the caliper nice and easy, or the brake pad nice and easy. So once it's nice and compressed, then you can just slide it over nice and easy and you don't have to worry about knocking everything off.
Compress that all in there. It should go over top. Oh, it's starting to come out already. Whew. It's not the right spot. There we go. There we go.
And now remembering which pin had the nipple in it, if it's supposed to be top or bottom, reinsert them into place. I just give this one a little love tap there to move it in there easier, and then tighten those down. You can see from the movement of the rotor that it probably makes a lot of sense to put one nut onto the lug to hold it in place while you're doing this work. I'm not sure where the footage went, but I added some brake caliper grease to those pins, which makes a huge difference. It also keeps it from squeaking as the pads can move in and out. Well, and that's it. Just replace your tire and make sure you torque them down to proper specs, and then after 50 kilometers torque them down again and take them for a test drive and make sure your brakes are working good.
Well, that's it, folks. Actually pretty easy, about 15-20 minutes per side. Save yourself about $500 shop time. Cost me $100 for the rotors and $60 or $50 for the brake pads. So $160. Pretty easy. That's all you need. It's quick, easy. Just follow the steps I showed you and you'll be good to go. Safe driving.